So talking about President Trump, he recently pardoned 1,500 people who were charged in connection with the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, the so-called insurrection. You were one of those pardoned. So how did you find out that you were one of those 1,500? Did you get a letter from him or from the Justice Department? Or did you get a phone call from your probation officer? How did you know that you have a pardon?
Ed McMahon showed up at my door with a great big
You're a
pardon
winner.
certificate. No. I hate to let you down, but here's the story. Trump had been saying for a long time that on day one he was planning to pardon some J6ers at least, right?
Yes.
And so here we are, January 20th. It's inauguration day, and I'm sitting there going, I didn't hear anything. I'm like, oh boy, this isn't good. And but I'm also in constant communication because now I'm friends with dozens of people who've gone through January 6th, even though we didn't know each other before, but we've gone through this together. And nobody had heard anything, so I'm like, okay, well that's a good sign. It gets to be, he gave his address and then he went to the Capitol Arena and in front of all those people said, I'm going to be going back to the Oval Office and pardoning some of these J6ers. And I'm still going, oh my God. So sat there glued to the TV and he goes back to the Oval Office. And then all of a sudden it appears on the TV, Trump pardons 1,500 J6ers. Well, I start freaking out because I knew that about 1,587 people had been charged. So I'm thinking, did 87 people not get pardoned? And who are they? Right? But it was probably about an hour after that, I got a call from my attorney and he said, I just read the executive order. You're pardoned. Congratulations. That's how I found out. And then I had already booked an interview that night with Greg Kelly on the Greg Kelly Show on Newsmax. So that interview was coming on 20 minutes after I got the call from my attorney. So, and Greg's show is live. So I wasn't in studio, but I was on, Skype and I was in an Airbnb in DC. But I go on this interview with Greg Kelly literally about 20 minutes after I found out I had been pardoned and just started crying on air. Wow. And but I wasn't just crying for myself or crying for the fact that I had been pardoned. I started crying because it just all started to hit me. And, I don't know if people fully know or appreciate, 5 people committed suicide because they could not bear what the government was doing to people. And they just couldn't handle it. And I became aware at that moment that, there are 5 people who aren't here to get this pardon, today. And for them, a pardon came too late. But that's the part I think that really hit me hard. But it was a roller coaster of emotions and really amazing.